Hello, welcome back to Caught Above the Cut. This is the second of a three-part video on a walk I did on the Cotswolds. First part's already up, where we walked down the river basically to Saul. Now this is back up the canal and is going to take us right up towards Westfield Lock. I'll split the video off at Westfield Lock and that'll be the third part, which will follow all up the canal.
So here we are. We're on the Stroudwater now, which is the first part of Cotswold Canals. We've got Saul Junction just behind us and the marina just over there. And you can see the crane just over the top there. So this section obviously is in water, has been, I don't think it ever fell into disrepair. But just at the end of this section, there is another section that is in water, but you can't access it. There's a bridge going across, which completely blocks the route. Here's the bridge. I'm not sure what they're going to be replacing it with. I assume it's probably going to be a swing bridge. There's a few swing bridges around here. There's one just at the end of this tow path. There's one on the crossing Gloucester and Sharpness a bit further down. Here we are at Westminster Lock and bridge as well. There's going to be here. So this is where I said earlier that it comes back up into the canal. So you can see the lock gates on the end here, and there'll be lock gates here. Now this drops into the river, and it connects quite a major canal in the Gloucester and Sharpness to the river network. So there are plans for this to be, I believe, to be a guillotine gate rather than a standard lock. So if there are ever any problems, they can literally just shut it off completely and stop any sort of oil spills or anything from getting down into the river. So this then drops, like I say, will drop down into the river through and go along and then come back out a bit further up. So this walk takes you in a bit of a figure eight. I've crossed the river Froome again now, gone up past the pillbox and gone past that bridge that took you across the canal. Stone Pits, I think it's called. I've never covered this little section here, as in walked along it. So this is going up towards Occupation Bridge and the oil pipeline. This is walkable normally. I just never came up this far when I did recording before. I never really expected to make a kind of full series of videos. When I did the A38 stuff in the Saul Junction, I was only really covering sort of small sections. But the videos on the Cotswolds have probably been one of my most popular series I've done. So I've actually, if you kind of follow them in line, I've covered from Saul Junction all the way to kind of just the other side of Stroud. I've got plans to do the bits in the middle between Brinscombe. I did film them once, but I had issues with the weather, so I had to stop. And then join up to Sapperton. And then I'm going to do all the eastern end, which is a little bit more difficult due to access, really. A lot of it's on private land. So as you can see, it's all in water still. Once the oil pipeline's out of the way, I think it only really needs dredging. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. They've got to join into the river, do some bits there, and then they're right up to the motorway, really. They're not far off on the A38 bridges. They've then got the construction they're doing, which they've been doing some digging for. I think it's more archaeological, which is a lock and a marina there, and then down into the under the M5 through the river and up into back up into the locks, which are being restored at the moment. I'm really glad that the other side. I hate cows. When I was a kid, I got chased with my mum across the field in Kingston Langley, and don't think I've ever jumped so high as I did clearing that gate when I was about 10 years old. And here we are back at the oil pipeline. So you can just got a big oak tree there, and then just behind that is the river that we walked down to start with. The oil pipeline comes up across that river along this sort of hedge line over the stream there, which you might be able to just make out just there. Then over here. So as you can see, it's far too low to get a narrow bit under. So they're going to have to drop it. It's still in use, I believe. I don't know what it's feeding now. I think it goes off to the Midlands eventually, and then we're on to Occupation Bridge. If you look at my Missing Mile video, which is the first I did on the Cotswolds, there's quite a bit of info about all of this, so I won't go too hard into it now. I don't think I'm going to be able to walk underneath it actually. It looks like it's flooded. You can see the old, the top here. So this is the coping stones here, look. So the level is going to be a little bit underneath there when it's done. It's obviously going to need a bit more work here. Cows trampling in and knocked some of them in by the looks of it. 3 of my very best mates. See, they hate me. Absolutely hate me. I was going to see if I could get my camera in up above them, but I'm too scared. Cows and swans, that's my thing. Alright, if anything else, this is where I mentioned the line. So there's one just over further up. And there's this one. I did this last time with the camera and I put this right in. But the this camera is a little bit better and it's got better low light, so I'm hoping you get a good view inside. So if you don't know what these are, basically they were machine gun turrets. Designed for the Dad's Army, the Territorial Army, which defended against any Nazi invasion. So you have machine gun points pointing out to basically anywhere they needed defending. So the canal was here, look, and ran through. So one of the ways the Nazis could have attacked is using the canal lines. So you find them on roads, railways, everywhere really. And there was a whole lines of them across the country designed as a stop point basically. So if the Nazis tried to come in from Bristol, which is in that direction, this line across here would have been a defence line to stop tanks. There would have been various other things here to stop tanks and step back into time. Probably some, I can't remember what they call them, they're like the concrete crosses and metal crosses and stuff like that. So back to the A38. So the route runs along the canal now, all the way back, and with some slight detours. Phil, you've got the A38 roundabouts just behind, which we've crossed under again. They've got this digging here, which I was under the impression is the marina, which is then going to drop down and follow onto the river, go under the bridge, and back up to Westfield Lock on the other side. As I said previously, the old line is lost. It used to follow the A4179 across there. Pretty much followed the same route, the road there. I think the road was probably built on top of it after. So it's kind of at this point really where the main detour happens. So just on the other side now of the M5, you've got the old tunnel. So this is the old route through. This wasn't obviously the canal tunnel, it's way too small for that. But the route ran basically here. So we're kind of underneath Junction 13 of the M5, hence the size of this canal, size of this tunnel, because it covers not only the actual main carriageway but the slip roads as well. So the towpath itself, I don't think they're going to take under the river bridge. I don't think there's space for it. So this is going to detour for the actual towpath. So you're going to come across the fields, come underneath this bridge, and then go back down here then to join back onto the main line of the canal. If you look at waterway routes, I use their maps extensively. They're very good. You can see on here that's the plan. They're generally quite accurate, these maps. He updates them quite regularly. So yeah, if you like your maps, if you like canals and want to follow a bit more and have a look at these maps, they're great.
Part 3 of the walk's going to take us along to Westfield Lock, so keep an eye out for that. Please click that super thanks button if you can on the bottom. It helps support my channel, so if you can do that, that's amazing. Thank you. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please do click the like and subscribe. Click the bell button to hear about my future videos. Have a great day.
Thank you.